All right, guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So we got bad storms. We got a break in the weather right now. I came out here yesterday after work, and not a bad day. Fortunately for me, I knew we had bad weather coming, so I stocked up dry tinder wood underneath my tarp over there. But one of the things I want to discuss with you guys is trying to start fire when you got rainstorms. Everything out here is wet, waterlogged. I've got some branches here, they're wet. I want to show you guys how to do this, because this can save your life. I've used this many times in very wet conditions. One of the first things I do, I look for trees that are knocked down, still in roots, they're leaning, or knocked down trees. Usually the ground directly underneath has dry material. Depends on how long it's been raining, how heavy it's been raining. But that's always my first go-to, is to look at underneath here. Odds are the bark directly underneath this tree that's leaning back here is going to be wet. But the ground underneath, especially towards the base, is going to have some dry material. But what we're going to do, guys, we got these wet sticks here. We're going to go ahead and start shaving down. The reason being, all the outer material is going to be wet. So you can collect all the wet material too, but right now I am trying to get down to the core where it's nice and dry. And with that, we're going to start getting some shavings out of here. This material is what we're going to be using to start our fire. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any dry things around here to store this, so there will be some moisture, but with a ferrocerium rod, you can superheat this material and you're going to get a fire going. Now, you can just go ahead and feather, just like I'm doing right now. Taking your knife, doing this material, and you could probably start a fire that way, but it's still stuck with all this wetness here. We'll go ahead and break all this stuff off, and we're going to go through all this and get us a good tinder pile. So, like I said, start shaving down, get to the drier material. Look at the downfalls and stuff like that in your surrounding area. Find what you can as far as dry, small branches. Once you get a nice superheated spot, you can burn wet wood. So I'm going to set this here. This dry grass is right underneath these deadfalls. I just had to roll them over to find drier material. Well, I shouldn't say grass, it's pine needles. All right, so what we got here, one of the fire kits I brought out with me today for this weekend's trip. I've got storm matches in here. I got ferrocerium rods. I even have a lighter. Yeah, I do a lot of bushcraft stuff, but I'm not stupid. I still carry a lighter with me. Now, with the ferrocerium rod, guys, this is Bigfoot Bushcraft, by the way. We are affiliated with them. You want to superheat this material as much as possible. So you'll see people do like this, or they'll pull back. It's probably the best way to do it, is to pull back, more directional. But then you also have what I call superheating. It's that right there. So one of the things I did, grab my gloves, because when you're doing the superheat, the metal striker gets very, very hot. All right, here we go. I do see something. Not enough. I'll just pile this back up a little bit more and go back at it. Wet conditions suck. Come on now. Keep at it. I got plenty of smoke going, but nothing's fully caught yet. Damn rain keeps dropping on me. There we go. Easy now, easy now. There we go. Easy, easy does it. Easy. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. There we go. Hell yeah. All right, so I want to show you guys, oops, microphone. So, just wanted to show you guys this. You can start a fire. Now, would it have been easier with a Bic lighter? Absolutely, it would have been. But let's say you don't have a Bic lighter. I really need to be paying attention to the fire to keep it going. But I just wanted to show you, yeah, there are materials. So, let's go ahead and take a look at where I've been finding this type of material. Give you a little bit more closer look on what to look for. One, see, I've got this little stand here that I built, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Material, because the rain's hitting on top. Yeah, there is a lot of wetness, but not as much as wide out in the open. So, let's go take a look over here. All right, down tree. I'm gonna roll this up out of the way. Yep. And we got drier material. It's not perfectly dry. This is a small one, but those leaves are relatively dry. All right, the pine needle is not so much. But a lot of the material is. There's just some tinder. Does it take a lot of collecting? Absolutely. So let's move on. So like I said, these trees that are leaning, the further down you go in, as long as the rain wasn't like sideways blowing up on the tree and running down, this here is actually pretty dry bark on the inside. But first, watch your hands. Make sure there's no critters down there going to get you. All of that, yeah, that's dry. That's breakdown of this tree. The majority of the leaves and branches, that's dry. Okay, so those are key points I'll look for when I'm actually looking for dry material. If not cutting into and trying to get to a dry piece of lumber inside a stick or something like that, go into spots like this, because let's face it, if you lose your knife, you're not really going to be cutting into wood and make shavings, right? So there are ways of finding dry tinder. Do I recommend having a fire kit and a knife and all that stuff when you come outdoors? Absolutely. But things happen. You lose your gear. Gear breaks. It doesn't matter if it's great gear or not. It could be overused, or you're exhausted, you lean into your ferro rod too hard and break it in half. Now try holding that thing while you're doing that. It sucks, but it can't be done. So anyway, there's something I want to show you guys. Did some photos showing camp last night, yesterday when I got here, setting it up, and we were getting rain coming in. And I did photos, put on our community posts, lay big heavy logs down and stuff. Yeah, if you don't have ways of creating fire, let's say you've got a fire going, but you need to keep it going, put those logs down. You'll get coals. Well, that coal bed's wet right now. But you'll get coals. You roll those logs over, you can pick them out. All right, wash your hands. You'll feel the hot spots. And if they got an ember still, you can gently blow on that ember and create a bigger coal. All right, now find your dry material, dry twigs, whatever you got to do, and you start fire, like a cup of coffee. Now, do I have fire kits? Absolutely. I was actually going to be going out this weekend, and I was going to go to a set of property and do no gear at all. Unfortunately, the way this weather is turning, and I still have this upper respiratory thing going on, I've had this stuff for over 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks now, and it still is tearing me up. It was told, consensus said, let's just hold off on it, as far as no gear at all. Don't worry, it's coming. But anyway, I do have some news though. As you guys know, I run my own outdoor survival business, right? I teach people basic survival. That's from shelter building, water purification, starting fire in wet conditions, the actual tools, ferrocerium rod, magnesium, not magnesium flares. I never forgot. I'm exhausted. I was up all night dealing with that rain. Magnesium fire starters. We show how to make different types of fire starters and everything else. Anyway, I'm rambling here. My boss pulled me to the office yesterday when I got to work. I was having a cup of coffee and I was munching on a honey bun. I know I broke my diet. I was hungry. And he said, well, bring your snack, Joe. Come on. I'm like, great. I thought I was doing a good job. So did all my buddies that I work with. They thought something happened, I was in trouble. Turns out I wasn't in any type of trouble. My immediate boss, he has property not too far away from me here. And last time I worked there in the shipyard, he had mentioned something about doing a school himself. Running your own business, your own LLC, is a lot of headache. Me, I'm the hands-on type of guy. I hate paperwork. I hate all that stuff. It's just put me out in the field, let me teach. Well, yesterday he offered me, he showed me photos of his property there, real nice setup, access to creeks, ponds, nice set of woods out there. I still have to go and properly look at it myself. But we're talking about what I do and what he's wanting to do, his background in it. And he's wanting to start his own LLC teaching basic survival. Now, I got the conversation with him about some of the workload I had, and when I had a large group, how spread thin I was, trying to go between everybody and make sure everything was good. Didn't have another instructor with me. And that was a concern he had. And he offered me, what if I bring you on as one of my instructors? Guys, I told him it sounded great. I did. I love running Survival Living LLC, my business, as far as my outdoor survival. But the headache involved with the business aspect of it, the logistics of running the website. I'm not a computer savvy individual, guys. I'm just not. It's one of the reasons I left the dealership. I'm from a different generation. That's my job, is put my hands on it, bang the crap out of steel, use my torch, cut whatever it is I need to go in position and lay out, and I got it covered. But when it comes to all that other stuff, it's a lot of stress, and I don't like it. Okay, so logistically, we're still looking at everything. I still need to get out on property here in a couple of weeks, take a look at it, see what type of curriculum he wants to do, because I know he really is more into the nature side of things, as far as, this plant here, that plant there, the medical properties of what you can do with it, which is great information. My course, we have some basic on that, but most of mine is teaching you how to fully survive. And granted, herbology and everything else, plantology, whatever you want to call it, is very important. You need to know what you can and cannot eat out there. I just cover the basics, cattail, hey, this is what we got. My main thing was water, shelter, fire, navigation. So it's still in the works. It looks like it might go in that direction. I'm excited about it. I really am. It's not too far away. So if we plan courses and stuff, and I'm not on the business aspect of this, guys, you know, that's on him on that. If we come to an agreement on how we want to do this, I'm going to invite you guys. All right, I'll let you guys know where it's at, his information. Y'all can contact, because we got a lot of people here. I got a lot of people that want to do my survival courses. My schedule has been brutal, but now I get the weekends off. So we'll have to work on what type of curriculum he wants to do. Do I have some insight and say, or am I just going directly off what he's got written down and planned out? A lot of what ifs yet, but I did want to share that, guys, with you, because I love being out here. Is it miserable at times? Absolutely, it is. Co-workers and stuff, I told them, you know, what I was planning and stuff like that, and like, dude, it's massive thunderstorms, man. Are you crazy? Why would you go out there like that? Well, just being out here, it helps me. I belong out here. I do. Thunderstorms and stuff, guys. Yeah, well, got to do a video today on starting fire in wet conditions. Everything's wet. How do you get that done? That's just using a ferro rod. There's many different ways of starting fires, okay? So, yeah, everyone wants to carry a lighter. Absolutely. I do too. But if something happens to that lighter, I want to be able to start a fire. That's why I teach bow drill, fire plow. That's why I do as much as I can, and not just do it once and watch a video on it. I want to be an expert at it. I want to keep pushing my skill set. That way when I'm hurt, I'm exhausted, whatever, I can get it done and survive. So, why do I come out here in this type of terrain when it's thunderstorms and stuff like that? That was the original question. Survival is usually not sunny and 75. It's usually bad things happen, weather turns. That's usually when survival happens. So to be proficient at it, you need to train in these conditions. All right, you do. Now, do I want a brand new person that's never been outdoors camping or anything to come out in a rainstorm and try to survive? Absolutely not. I want you to learn the other skills first in comfortable climate conditions, and then start branching off and start learning to duplicate those skills in not so optimal environments, all right? Because that's usually when you have to get it done. Anyway, guys, I am going to make me some coffee. I did collect some rainwater. So I haven't even been to the creek today or yesterday to store and collect water. I've just been using my tarp and collecting rainwater. It's worked great. I know I get ticked off watching shows like Alone and Naked and Afraid and all that stuff, because, you know, I've been in the situation, and I get aggravated, and I get chastised by people too. Well, dude, you don't know what type of conditions they're in. And actually, I do. I keep pushing myself through it. But I do have people comment on some of my videos, well, what I would have done. You're not here. You're not going through the temperature, climate change, and everything else I'm going through, or the hiking in I had to do to get to this location. Plus, working as a fitter in the shipyard the day before, the day of arrival. Yeah, freaking sucks. I ain't took a shower yet. Sorry. I know, nasty. But I get ticked off at some of these shows, and I do have to take a step back from time to time because I'm not in the location they're in. All right, the humidity could be horrible. That's why the bow drill is not working correctly. The material, all the material might have so much moisture in it that it doesn't matter how long you're trying to dry that sucker out with humidity on top of it, it ain't starting. Now, have I been successful pretty much on my bow drill? I'd say 93% of the time. And that's preparation, wood selection, and the method of the process. And, you know, actually doing it. But there's times I failed. As a matter of fact, I did a live stream. I failed like 3 times straight doing this thing. And I believe it was the 4th time, or maybe it was the 3rd time. Got fire, but I wasn't giving up. Was I exhausted? Yeah, I was. The conditions was not right for it, but I was going to do it. So when you got that extra pressure there, live streaming, ooh, yeah, don't screw up. But yeah, guys, I'm excited about this possible new venture in my life for me and my family. My wife knows I love teaching. I might not be the best at everything I do, but when it comes to outdoor survival, I love teaching. When it comes to teaching people how to weld, I've taught a lot of them. I love teaching. Mechanic work, I've done a lot of teaching, getting people ready, teaching them mechanic work. Doesn't mean I'm the best at it. And do I lose my cool sometimes? Sure. Everyone's human. But I never take it out on the person learning. Never have. Have I had some doozies of students? Yeah, absolutely. I've had some mouthy ones. I've had some bow up on me and everything else out here in the field. Well, out here in the field, it's the law of the jungle. All right? I'm the guy that's trying to teach you how to survive. I'm also the guy that's going to get you out of this location, because odds are you're pretty much lost where I'm at. So, I know I'm rambling. This head cold, everything I got, this upper respiratory, this head cold stuff has just got me exhausted. But I'm happy. Oh man, I'm happy. So, new venture. Sorry guys, I'm rambling and everything else. I brought my light gear. I didn't bring a heavy pack, but I did bring my pack with light gear, so I got a change of clothes, a couple canteens. Actually, I came in with 3 quarts of water. I do have a stove with me, one of those little micro burner stoves. Absolutely, I do. But that's just in case this stuff just got south and I couldn't do it. Like today, I dug out all the coals that were still hot in my fire pit. I got them in my big old camp pot that I carry, my solo stove. That way, yeah, sure, the coals will eventually burn out. Absolutely no oxygen, but I still have the charcoal. And the charcoal is nice and dry. Throw a spark on it, I'm gonna have fire. Little tricks of the trade, I guess you could say. I picked up a lot of these from other instructors, other schools. The main thing is being out here and doing it. Getting out here and doing it. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not conditioning your skills and actually doing the process, you're setting yourself up for failure. Or a very long, cold night in the rain. All right, guys, appreciate you hanging out with me. If I have another video tonight, I'll make one. I am hungry. I brought me some ramens. Yeah. And I did bring my rice and chili. Absolutely did. So I'm going to eat me some lunch. And rice and chili is going to be tonight. Last night I had beef jerky. Yeah, I'm pretty hungry right now. That was a long hike in. All right, guys. Talk to y'all later.